Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Love may be a feeling, but relationships are built on understanding and sometimes strategy. And this is a quote from Steve Harvey. Good morning, Nigeria. It's another vibrant Friday on Ways Breakfast, your #1 spot for youth-centered conversation that are bold, relevant, and of course real. Here, we're not just talking at you, we're talking with you, especially about things that shape how we love, live, and lead in today's world. My name is Oluchi Precious Omenka, and joining me today are my dynamic co-anchors, the sharp and thoughtful God's Beauty Israel, of course, the radiant voice of balance, Triumph Akimboye. Now, today we're diving into a book that has stirred debates, raised eyebrows, and probably inspired a few text messages. Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man by Steve Harvey. And we didn't cram it last night, but the themes, oh, they are very real. From love and respect to gender expectations and power play in relationships, we're unpacking everything. So whether you're team Play the Game or team Let Love Lead, this one is definitely for you. So welcome again to Ways Breakfast, where youth voices rise and conversations hit home. Let's meet the ladies. Good morning, girls.
Good morning.
I think we have another soprano singer in the house. Good morning. But how are you doing today? What?
Don't trust my singing.
I shouldn't trust your singing. Thank you for the disclaimer. Because if there's anything I hate in this life, is a terrible voice. Just by the way, I was watching this particular audition. So it was like a mop-up, or what they call this now, like a compilation of horrible auditions that people have done so far. You know, some of these singing competitions like Nigerian Idol.
Yeah.
And I was just like, some people really like to embarrass themselves. I know that I don't sing as good. I talk well, but my singing voice is not all that.
Yeah.
And I will not be at the spotlight to not come and make people's ear be crying and all of that. So talking about singing now, I just realized that not everybody has gifts. And just stay in your lane. The one that you are good at, please do it. But I have a comment. I think those things are staged. Maybe they bring them, you know, just for the hype, the vibe, and let's just laugh.
But it's not everyone that is like that. You know, as much as I say that I don't have voice, some people still tell me that my voice is nice.
For singing.
So that might have led somebody to Nigeria.
Exactly. Yeah, no, to be honest, but that's what it is, really. No, for real, though. I mean,
and this shows that we should stop deceiving people.
Honestly.
It's really terrible. If you can't sing, I'll say, I think that you really... This is how this is how to criticize people that I've learned. You first start by telling them, give them a positive feedback. Like, honestly, I love how energetic you are. I love how you took over the stage.
Yes.
But I think that your vocals can be worked on. That's how to give constructive criticism straight up.
But the ones that we do today is,
oh, this your voice is bad, and then they give up. How do you think it should be done?
I mean, I get the point of, I actually agree. I mean, that's where that constructive criticism comes in, right? That word. So I get the point of, you know, you want to tell them first that, oh, this your voice can be better. But instead that this your voice can be better, they would actually see it as you saying, oh, it is good, but they can do better. So they probably would, no jokes. They'll probably go back to want to go and train, and then when somebody else
can
give
be better
them that,
when they train. it can be better when you train. Because I don't think there's a no for anybody. If you just train properly, you'll be better. I don't know how we got to singing today. I think it's it's triumph and God's beauty taking us to the musical lane. But of course, thank you for joining us on today's interesting show. Our book review, as you know, happens every last Friday of the month. And today on, it's quite interesting. We're talking a lot about motivational books, self-development, productivity. Yes. Today, it's relationship. And it's all inspired by the lady vibe herself.
I don't do that.
She loves conversation like this. All right, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll look to the headline stories making waves this morning, internationally and locally. So please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
I describe myself as a polyhumanitarian, someone who believes politics should be rooted in love for country and empathy for its people. I'm thrilled to introduce to you Politics Uncensored, a show dedicated to tackling the political challenges that matter most to Nigerians. This is more than just a show. It's a space for honest, unfiltered conversations about the issues that shape our nation. From policy reforms to elections, leadership tussles to governance at all levels, and the overall political landscape in Nigeria. We will dive deep into how politics is impacting our everyday lives. So join me on this journey as we challenge the status quo, spark dialogue, and work together to build a brighter future for Nigeria. Let's make our voices heard and drive the change we deserve.
All right, welcome back. As we start the day, I'm so happy that we've looked through and reflected on the significant event that has shaped our world. And this is not just a routine, it's for you to be informed as well on what's happening every single day. Of course, it's time for the headline stories right now. You can always be part of these conversations by calling us on our phone lines. The number is displayed 07025 007749 or 0701424220. And if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Head on now to the official Upgrade TV on YouTube. Click the subscribe button, like, share the link, tune into channel 145 on your Go TV, and do not miss this for anything. Today we have interesting stories on the papers this morning, and God's beauty will start with the international paper.
All right, straight into the South China Morning Post. At the top left, we have Ryan Choi wants even more glory. And at the top center, we have the soft power of ugly cute Labubu. Then at the top right, we have keep any rent rise below 5%. And dominating the headline today, we have she urges European Union to make right choices in turbulent times. Then at the civilian section, that's at the top right column, we have facial recognition tech will soon be deployed in CCTVs. Then bottom of the bottom headline, that's the last headline on the newspaper today, which is at least 12 dead as border roads erupt into conflict. So I'll be taking 3 headlines. I just hope that I'm fast about it. So the first one is the soft power of ugly cute Labubu. So for the time we've heard of Labubu and the trend, I've always wondered why exactly it is trending. I mean, the fact that it doesn't even look like a Barbie doll or something, but let me quickly go into the details. And we have here the ugly cute Labubu dolls started as a toy trend in China. Now, these dolls don't have the usual pretty or perfect features like some look old, goofy, or strangely shaped, but people find them adorable. think that's questionable because how exactly are you finding it adorable? But that's okay because they are different and expressive. Now, that mix of weird and cute is what makes them stand out. I would actually agree to that. Moving on, we have, as they became popular among young people, both in China and abroad, the Chinese government and brands saw an opportunity. So instead of just being toys, Labubu dolls became a cultural export, a fun, creative way to show the world a softer, more relatable side of China. Now, it's part of what is called soft power, using culture, art, and lifestyle, not politics or force, to shape how others see your country. So I think that, it's a beautiful one. How they are saying that people are, buying, and there's a trend on those Labubu dolls, and, China decided to use it to, make other countries see China as a more softer country in that sense. I feel like, everybody sees China differently. I don't know. Or we see it, you see it as a country that understand where they are going to, technology-wise now. Do you understand? If you look at on TikTok, most of the things that some Chinese, citizens, what they even post there, it's something related to technology, one thing technology, the other thing technology. You don't see more stories or any bad news releasing to, China or except, of course, you check like the net. But when it comes to social media, you literally will not find anything like that. So I think that the fact that now they're now using this Labubu trend, for other countries to see them differently, see them as a country you can easily relate with, and not a country that is more political,
rigid.
So I think it's a good one. Moving on, the next headline that kind of catches my attention is she urges the European Union to make right choices in turbulent times. Now, she urges the European Union, that's the president of China, right, to make right choice in turbulent times. Highlights President Xi as he calls for stronger China and European Union ties amid global instability. Now, during a high-level summit, he urged European leaders to avoid taking sides in global power struggles and instead pursue balanced, independent policies that support peace, cooperation, and economic stability. Now, his message is, in a world full of conflict and change, the European Union should choose partnership with China for stability and mutual benefit. Now, this is, to just give updates on what exactly has been going on between the European Union and China, right? If you remember, since the beginning of this week, if I'm not mistaken, we've talked about the summit, which was held yesterday, and I told you guys that I can't wait to see what eventually, happened, given that, China has not always had an issue, but then there's just been this tension that's been rising between, China and the European Union. So I'd like to further state that, the European Union, I still wonder why exactly they're always having issue with China, because given the fact that, statistics, right, and, from the research I've actually made, you see that China is one of their largest partner when it comes to trading, and also the reason why they're always having an issue with China is what I don't understand, given that if you guys are not in good terms, there are so many other things that you people would definitely lack short of, and I'm talking about, the European Union, that's consisting of, 27 countries, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know why they're always having an issue with, China. Instead of, always supporting the United States, that's President Trump, I think that they should try as much as possible to always stay neutral, so that way they're able to benefit from both parties.
It's a very heavy claim to say that they're supporting the United States, because that's one country, and I think it goes against the ethics of what a neutral body like European Union is supposed to be.
But to be honest, that's what it's looking like. There's no ground to why there's always a conflict between China and the European Union. Like I said, this country, if you look at, the kind of things that China is actually helping to do, for these 27 countries, I don't see a reason why they should always be having issue with them. If there's no likeness between them and the United States. Right. But then maybe that is not maybe certain, but I feel like that's what the newspaper, is always highlighting. But yeah, that's literally all I have for you guys today.
All right, Triumph, what do you have for us this morning?
All right, so let us look at the Guardian newspaper. Now, the interesting headline here, which I am going to talk about, is how unchecked dietary supplements turn toxic, lure many to early grave. Okay, and some of the other headlines that we have here this morning: Tinubu rallies governors to performance, lures North with slot. It is also in the news this morning that ADC COP kicks as Tinubu labels opposition coalition of confusion. Okay, so now the news that I would like to talk about is the headline here, which is that how unchecked dietary supplements turn toxic, lure many to early grave. Now, what is this story about? according to the report, people's relentless quest for beauty and wellness and the desire for flawless skin and strong immunity has actually fueled a craze among Nigerians for consuming a wide range of dietary supplements. Okay, and the reason why it's very funny is because it is marketed as a quick fix. A quick fix, and then you're taking it without medical advice. And these products, sometimes you don't even know what it's about. You don't even know what is going on with the product, but then you consume it based on maybe an online vendor that you saw. And this is an issue, which I agree with, right? So people are getting very desperate. It's becoming a craze, and we are not going to lie about it. The way you pay attention to your body, years ago is not the way you pay attention to it now. You are just like so much interested. Now, they are talking about the fact that this is causing damage to the health. So how do we go about this, right? How do we go about this? Because this supplement, I mean, there's supplement for the young, for the old, for the small, for the large, and it is becoming a serious thing because you don't even get medical advice for this thing.
Very true. Funny how that we spoke about self-care yesterday. And one of the things that we also discovered with self-care is that there's self-awareness and there's self-testing as well. So I think today, the reason why people, go for many of these supplements and some of these drugs that help with quick fix, wellness, and all of that. I mean, I even saw one time that there was this particular supplement that helps with long hair. It helps retain the length of your hair, helps with stronger nails, helps with glowing skin. And I see some people have a number of drugs that they are always consuming. I'm one that really do not my default is not to firstly take drugs when I'm ill. Like if I take drugs, it's because the doctor wants me to. I feel like what they used to make these things is just chemical infused. So I'm like, how many of these things am I even going to take into my body? Even it got to the point that when I'm having a headache, right, my default is not to take paracetamol or Panadol because I'm like, I get headache a lot. So is it every time I'm going to be putting Panadol and paracetamol into my body? That seems like a whole lot that I don't want my body start handling. So I'm glad that, the report or the Guardian newspaper has let us see that it's already alarming that people are misusing and abusing these drugs and our health needs to be taken care of. So I think, firstly, even though there's self-testing, self-awareness, self-care and all of that, we should still have it's good to have a doctor that is on standby. Have somebody that you speak to that has something meant for you. Do you understand? Not this drug abuse that we're doing in the name of I want to have wellness supplement.
And unfortunately now it's luring people to their early grave.
Sadly.
Because people are now people are now having different issues. I promise you, if you talk to a number of Nigerians, young Nigerians that actually do some of these things, you will realize that they have so much going on in their health, in their bodies. It's just funny how that we were talking about self-care just yesterday. And then we're having it on the headline here. So I would just like to say that being moderate would actually be a word that would sell forever. Because sometimes what you think you need is not necessary.
True.
Honestly, you're just feeling like you need it. You don't need it. So I just think that people should be moderate, and you can always consult your doctor.
It's not the influencer that is telling me that this wellness package gave me this
another online vendor
and all of that. Let me take you through the punch. Yours has released quite expository, tell us about the health sector. This one is about security, and it's quite sad that we're revisiting this Plateau issue again. And that's the only story I'm going to take because of time. It says 14 villagers and policemen killed in Plateau attacks. Earlier on, we were speaking about how this Plateau attacks has not been getting the urgency that we so desire. And this is a spin-off of that. When you don't take urgent action towards something, you expect it to even escalate and become even worse. I mean, 14 villagers just recently on Thursday, including a policeman who is supposed to, well, I don't know, let me just read through the story and get more details. It says at least 14 villagers and a mobile police officer, that means just a police officer, were killed on Thursday in two separate attacks carried out by gunmen in Bokos local government area of Plateau State, It was gathered that one of the attacks took place around 4 p.m. as the victims, mostly from the Shirang community, were returning from Bokos Market to Mango village in the locality. The chairman of the Community Peace Observers in Bokos confirmed this killing on Thursday. And he said that it is true that there was an attack on our people about 4 p.m. this evening. The police officer was manning a checkpoint. Why one police officer? I do not know. Whether, maybe it was more than one police officer, but the record here is showing that it is one police officer that was killed. And he's saying that he was manning a checkpoint. A checkpoint should have more than one police officer. So this story is not adding up yet. It now says 14 natives were ambushed and killed by suspected terrorists, while 3 others were injured on their way from Bokos market, a market to a village, basically. So he further revealed that security personnel had taken over the control of the area to ensure the safety of the community. Of course, that's what we hear. When something bad has happened, when people have lost their lives, the next thing is, what do the people want to hear? That there's security now in this area. Before then, weren't there security officers, how do I put it? When the security officers that were put in those areas, I mean, if it's a checking point that, how they put it now, is a high-risk area in that sense, because we already know what's happening in this state. Why are we seeing just one policeman? If it was more than one police officer that was there, it would have been mentioned, but it's looking like it was just one person manning the checkpoint. I beg to, I mean, I stand to be corrected. Probably there were more, but probably those ones that escaped and they were not killed, and it was the civilians that were killed. Security needs to be tightened in these areas. They already know. I don't think these people are oblivious to the high-risk areas. You know, the places that have this bandits and people come out to kill and destroy, as they will say. So I think we need to really tighten security in that area. And I'm sorry that I have to take you through the gory stories of the Punch newspaper this weekend, but that is what the headline says. And of course, it is a lot of call to action to us as a country. This is where we wrap up the headline stories, and we'll take another short break. When we come back, we're looking through the book review for today. Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man by Steve Harvey. A very interesting book, trust me. So if you're a relationship fan, this is one that you have to tune into. So please stay with us. We'll be right back very short.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Welcome back to our book review segment. Today is Friday, the last Friday of the month of July, and of course we always review a book every month. We've been talking a lot about self-productivity, you know, and all of those development things that are quite serious. But today we're talking about relationship, and the book we're reviewing is a very old book from Steve Harvey titled Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man by Steve Harvey, a comedian and a TV host. Now, even if you haven't read it cover to cover, there's no judgment here. Chances are that you have heard about the book. This book tries to decode the way men think when it comes to love, relationship and commitment, offering what Harvey calls a male perspective for women trying to make sense of men. This book also breaks down male behavior in romantic relationship and suggests that women need to understand how men operate if they want to have a lasting and meaningful connection. Still, Harvey argues that men are simple, driven by who they are, what they do, and how much they make. And more interestingly, that they only do 3 things when they love a woman. They profess, provide, and protect. Now, while some hail this book as gospel, others says it reduces relationship to a game of strategy and generalization. But one thing is for sure, it opens up plenty to actually talk about. And today, we're not just reviewing the book, we're opening up the floor to some real societal questions that flow from its themes. Let's talk about love, gender roles, expectations, and maybe even the lies we have been told. Of course, there are core themes from this book that I would open up during the course of our conversation. And the ladies are here to open up this with me. So, guys, do you love the book, first of all? Do you like books like this? I mean, you know, the essence of book review is to open up our mind to different write-ups and just become more literary in that sense and read a lot of books. So what kind of book catches your fancy? Do you find yourself immersed in even more? Let me start with Triumph.
Okay, for me, I don't read relationship books, right? Aside this, think like a man, you know, aside this
what kind of
book that
books
we are
do you
reading.
read though? I'm curious.
Finance. Let's talk about money. Let's talk about money.
Psychology of money is given.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Finance.
Let's talk about money.
We're young and we need the money.
Right.
Guys, how about you?
You guys know already.
We know.
I love relationship. I love love. I love Steve Harvey.
Yeah, I think I like Steve Harvey a lot.
I
He's
love
a
him,
very
actually.
amazing person.
Yes, he is.
So that's the kind of book you read.
I read everything actually. Finance.
No, I mean the one that catches that you find yourself on fire.
So I think
palm.
it's self-development books. Yeah, because again, and that's those kind of books actually not even tilt to relationship because. I mean, one way of having to develop yourself, you know, your personality and your branding and all of these things has to also do with, you know, you having to have people around you, networking and all of that. So you really cannot take that out. So I'll say self-developmental books actually works for me.
That's interesting. So this particular book opens up a lot of things, and it's almost like Steve Harvey was trying to paint a stereotype to the male gender and the female gender and how things work in relationship. It feels like to me, when it comes to relationship, there's a lot of gender play that is just beyond the normal that we're used to. So first, I even want to ask a question that, do you think that this was overstretched, or are we just going by stereotypes with gender? Do you think it was like maybe overcomplicated in that sense, like making it look like men are like this, women are like this? So some people that haven't even been in a relationship, they're like, oh, how am I? How is this person going to be? So it's almost, because to me, I've always seen love as a very simple thing. Like, you like someone likes you, you're ready to be together.
Right?
I can't call.
I'm not even going to lie. Maybe because I was used to a lot of fairy tale stories. You know, just to someone that you like and you vibe with, as we call today, and you're just building something beautiful. But different relationship people come up to let us see that there's gender dynamics. There are things that do happen in man's mind and woman's mind. So I'm asking, first of all, do you think that because of the modern society we're in, we have overcomplicated these stereotypes, or they are actually true? Who wants to go first?
I want to
hear Triumph.
Yes, I want to
you
go
this
first.
finance. What do you know about relationship? But go ahead, please.
I'm still a woman there, so I would have something to say.
Definitely.
So I would like to say that people, and then social media has made things worse for people. That you can't even believe what you see. You can't even believe what you have always known to be true. Aside some people, whilst for some, you know, they are shaped by the experiences that they've had. Some people did not have, you know, a balanced parenting. Some people did not have a good home. Some people did not have a good example of what a proper relationship should look like. We have that. And then we have the larger percentage of people that they're not coming from a terrible background with relationships, but based on what they've seen online, what they've seen people say, or what they've even seen around, they come to a conclusion, and these things are not conscious. But before you know it, you have created an image, you have created a gap, a stereotype about certain persons, about one gender, about another gender. Okay. But I honestly think love, you say that word love is a beautiful thing. I'm still going to stay with it for a very long time because I can't imagine experiencing something other than that.
So you think that some of the overcomplication that comes with gender stereotypes, like something like what Steve Harvey wrote, is maybe a little overstretched? Is that the stance you're taking?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, let me hear God's beauty before I continue.
So, I kind of agree with what Steve Harvey said on this one, because men and women actually think very differently. Yeah, right? Because, I mean, we are more emotional, invested in... So I think there's this... I'm going to add in a lot of things to
why
books
do you
I've
think
read
we're
and
more
all.
emotional? Is it because somebody told us that we're more emotional?
No.
Or, like, what survey was even carried out? I'm really, really
So
curious to know.
So I mean,
how women are wired differently. How did you come up with that?
Okay, so the thing is, I am not a relationship expert to give you that.
Okay.
Right? But, I mean, there's this, what's his name now? Pastor Kingsley is a relationship expert. He has said that so many times. And he would always go with either survey said or scientists has proved, right, that men are actually different, wired differently, the way they think and the way women think are different. And I mean, in his words now, he will tell you that, for women are able to do 1, 2, 3 things at the same time. They're able to think about, I mean, that's the reason why he will not tell you that. That's why women are born, nurturers and all. A woman can actually be sitting there and she would literally think about, oh, she's supposed to carry her child from school by 12. And at the same time, she's thinking about that, project that she needs to submit in, her work. And she's also thinking about that her mother-in-law that also needs pepper soup at the same time. Yeah. Do you understand? But for a man, they want to focus on one first. Or which one are they do? Is it this one? Again, this is not in my words, and that's why I said in his words, because that's what he has always, preached, or he has always said. So, he's a relationship therapist or an expert in that sense. So, for all the things that he has said, to some extent, most people would want to agree, with him that, oh, okay, maybe this is true. Maybe it's not a lie, right? And he will go for that to even tell you that that's the reason why if a man is dealing with something, they take one at a time. They're not to want to, start thinking about this one and this one and this one at the same time, like the way a woman would, And because we are born naturals, so that we are a bit emotional compared to men. Now, Steve Harvey tells you that, a man's identity, a man's purpose is what actually drives him. Who he is, how much he's making, all of those things. Why for women, we are more concerned about, oh, okay, who do we even have in our space? We are more driven with emotions and all of that. So that's the reason why there's a bit of, differentiation between what a man is thinking and what is driving him and that of, a woman.
Great. And of course, some of the surveys that we've seen, like you've mentioned, that they tell you that it's based on some research and all of that. But I really want to say that some of them are becoming a little bit outdated, and that's the truth. They stem from a traditional point of view. Because eventually, what forms stereotypes or what forms the way you perceive gender or anything, basically, is based on culture. It's based on the environment. Yeah. So, if you look at traditionally, we go back in past, that women are natural thing would have played well. But today, it's not playing as much. It's not every woman that wants to be a natural. There are some people, in those days, you hardly hear someone tell you that I do not want to get married as a woman. It was like a taboo. Like, what do you mean? You don't want a crown on your head? Yeah. Do you understand? But today, people are becoming more confident with it. Why? Because the society is evolving and changing. So I think that sometimes some of these books need a bit of review so that we don't box ourselves into a stereotype that's no longer working.
I agree.
Because stereotypes are based on traditions, they are based on culture, it evolves.
They're based on biases.
Biases as well, based on a few surveys that we've seen elsewhere.
Which is why I also, sometimes I don't believe in what somebody says, because you're saying your honest opinion. Like, it's your honest opinion. But honestly, it's coming from a place of sentiments.
That's some
it's
word
your
there.
honest opinion, but it's coming from a place of grudge, coming from a place of what you've seen, coming from a place
from
of
an experience that wasn't really good for you as well.
Yeah.
So it was so
you
real to you, but you can't project that on me. So we've spoken a whole lot about this, but let's even dissect some of the nitty-gritty of this book. So in this particular book, the title is even Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. So at first, this book is almost like women. Come, there's a group chat we're opening. There's a group chat we're opening. And I'm like, is this not placing a lot of responsibility on women to adjust too much in relationship? It's almost like it's not a balanced or fair advice. Like in relationship, the woman, the woman is supposed to take like 80% of, you know, the adjustment and everything. The man will just flow with whatever is available. That's how I perceived this book. But do you think that that's what is really playing in today's world, where there's a whole lot of emphasis on the woman adjusting? Do you think it's even fair, or do you have another opinion?
Okay, so first I would like to say something different, which is the fact that both you know, the female, that gender, and then the other gender, there's so much pressure on the both gender, right? There's so much pressure on the both gender, or there is so much expectations from the both gender. We have seen even from the book, from what people have said over time. However, now let's talk about the woman, or the woman. I think that so much pressure is put on the woman, and so much more will still be put on the woman. Will still be put on the woman. However, just like you said, some people are changing the narrative. But don't stay in the place of what somebody has said. How do you want to be?
Right.
What do you want to look like? What kind of a woman do you want to look like? There was a time in life that as a woman, you can't do career together with motherhood. You can't work with motherhood. But now you see a lot of women, they will run career, they will run motherhood, they will run leadership. Some women would also run both the responsibility of the husband and the wife. And I honestly believe that women are so amazing. When you see... but
women are amazing.
Honestly,
amazing.
It's not stereotype. It's reality, I beg.
Honestly.
Okay, reality. Apologies.
Reality based on what we've seen, right? Because sometimes, have you ever met a mother that has been like, she's the mother of the house, but she's also the father of the house?
Definitely.
And she's handling, and she's handling it so well.
I think so.
We have it.
I know
like
we're
that.
going to open this, further, but I want us to take a breather, short break, and we'll come back to discuss, how much adjustment we see in relationship for women and for men. So please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlights. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Welcome back. Apologies, I was just thinking of something and then it caused me to chuckle. But of course, welcome back to our book review segment. We started earlier. We're discussing Steve Harvey's book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. Of course, we've talked about the gender stereotypes and we tried opening it up to ask ourselves if we're placing unnecessary burden on women to adjust. It's almost like the group chat for relationship has more women then, and you have to do this, do that, and the man is just waiting that who fits into this, okay, you come in and all of that. I'm not trying to be a feminist or anything, but I feel like sometimes society places a lot of pressure. Today, people don't just, they go to relationship like they are doing a survey. Like it's almost like, you know, research projects in university. Yeah. I feel like that's how relationship has been turned to these days. That's why there are a lot of people making different content, telling you this is how to do this. Sometimes because it's almost overwhelming for me. Agree. Like burdensome. Like we should not like this will not be like I beg. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, I do.
But of course, this is based on different people's experience. I'm not sure anybody just comes up because I'm trying to take their side now. They have experienced things. They have seen life. They've been dealt with in different ways. And so they're like, no, I must save my fellow woman from this pit hole. But of course, moving on to this with this discussion, I want to read something that is a major theme from the book. And that is the 3 Ps in relationship. Like Gospity already mentioned, it's profess, provide, and protect. And what does this mean? These are 3 ways a man shows that he truly loves a woman. So if he's not doing all 3, Steve Harvey suggests that he may not be serious. Now, that's from Steve Harvey. The profess is that he openly claims you as his. That is, he's introducing you, he's posting you, he's telling people about you. He provides. He wants to contribute financially and make you comfortable. He also protects you. He wants to keep you safe physically, emotionally, and socially. And the implication of this is that a relationship lacking this element might not be the real deal. So now, let me open that, before I come to profess on, that providing on. You know, I told you about stereotypes already. Yeah. Do you understand? So, before now, the way our parents grew up is the man goes to the farm. He works. The woman is at home. I bring the money. Yeah. You just stay at home. Don't work. And so that's something we grew up with. But I told you, modern society changes this ideology. Like you mentioned, there are career women today that are not just taking the role of a wife in that sense. They're also working. So now, they're not telling us that, no, if you really want to see a man that is serious, he's still going to go back to that stereotype that we know as the provider. So do you think that this is expecting men to always... Do you think that we're placing unnecessary burden on men to always be the sole provider in a relationship, especially with this economic climate that we're in today? What are your thoughts?
So I would say culturally, right? Of course, that's, you know, I feel like first off, there's a definition for what providing is. And we always stem it down to, finance. Exactly. So culturally here in Nigeria, it's expected that a man is supposed to have a certain amount. I mean, to the likes of Cider Butch, I haven't seen that baby in a while. What's going on? But that's by the way, right? You'd always hear, all of these updates that, oh, a man should have this certain amount in his account. That's how you know that he's responsible. Responsibility is not about just how much you have in your account, right? And providing is not solely just on finance. There are so many other ways that a man can actually provide. Now, taking us back to the question you asked, Triumph. See, I don't think that women are actually, told all of these things or, they're under any pressure or anything. That's not it.
Okay, there's no unnecessary pressure.
No, there's no unnecessary pressure. So this is it here. Now, from the book, it already tells you, from the name of the title of the book already tells you a lot. Act like a lady, think like a man. So it's simple. You're supposed to be, thinking the way a man is thinking, right? Now, if you look at, like I said, if you look at culturally here in Nigeria, you're expected to act like this, you're expected to, put in this amount of money and all. I mean, there's this book called 5 Love Languages. It makes you understand who your partner is. And that's exactly what Steve Harvey is also saying. Do you understand? You are supposed to understand who your partner is. And that's where I don't see it as unnecessary pressure. I see it as you understanding who this person is so you know how best to love the person.
I want you to talk about that provision.
Hell, Father.
No. I want you to open that point.
Coming back to it, I'm going somewhere. So coming back to it, right? Now, if you're providing for someone, doesn't actually mean that it has to be finance. That's what I'm saying. So when you already know what this person wants.
What other kind of provision are there?
I don't understand. You being there, is that not providing?
That's why I asked.
You've been available. You've been available is one. You've been available is one. You're ensuring that whatever this person needs, if probably we are dating, for example, don't worry, it's not gay-ish yet, but but if we're dating, for example, Oluchi, and you probably have the money as a career woman, and then I am not there, I don't give you my time, hold it, I don't give you my time, I mean, I'm not always there with you, I'm probably traveling from one place to another. Would you not say that I'm not providing to some extent? Although, I mean, culturally, you want to put it that, oh, maybe it brings in funds, you complain. You will say that this man is not always present. And that's also a part of providing. The fact that I'm always there for you, I ensure that you are okay, I ensure that you are safe, I ensure that everything is going well for you where you don't have to complain. That's providing. But here, culturally here in Nigeria, like I said, we always bring it down to finance. He doesn't have a certain amount in his account. He's not a responsible person. But again, what is responsibility? What is providing? If you go back to what exactly these words actually mean, you will know that we've gone somewhere else. We know they follow the lane again. Okay. That's what it is.
I like that. Thank you. Triumph, what do you think about the unnecessary burden we've put on men to be the sole providers? Okay, so I was going to say something, right? About, you know, we mentioned the change in stereotype for women. Yeah. There's also the change too for men, which is that presently even men, some men do not believe that they are, you know, the whole thing that they should do, you know, is to just provide, and then the woman does nothing. Do you understand? It has also changed for the men. I mean, I've heard men say something like, oh, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to do anything. Would I be the only one? Because of what they've seen. What do you bring to the table? What do you, have you forgotten all those things? Yeah, do you understand? What the questions like that? So I feel like, just like what I've been saying, you see the stereotype thing, this sentiment thing, and I don't think we should bring it into love, into marriage. And that is... So if a man is not providing, what's your perception of that person? I mean, financially now, based on some of the things highlighted here from Steve Harvey's 3 Ps. A man will provide financially. That is not exactly what Steve Harvey is even saying. No, it's not just on the finances alone. I'm not opening up only what he's saying. Remember, we're taking these themes to open up a broader societal knowledge, societal issue. So there's this school of thought where some people feel like if a man is not providing for you financially, he's not serious. There's no point being there. Do you understand? So what do you think about that? Do you think there should be some restraining order to it, or there's some truths that can be brought from there? And I'm talking of the finance, and I know you have mentioned different types of provision. Every other provision. You know, emotional provision. But you don't end the financial of the money aspect. What do you think about that? Just like it has been before. And it will still be. Okay. Provision is very important. Now, even the woman also provides, depending on the kind of woman you are with, right? But even the woman of now, they don't just sit back and do nothing. So I feel like that provision for is a blanket word, because this same social media, have you seen some people come out to say, if he doesn't buy you this, I'm not going to do it. Shaida Bodja, what's her name? That's what I call her. If he doesn't do this, you cannot. Don't forget that there are people that they are imbalanced in their thoughts, right? Honestly, there are people that are imbalanced in their thoughts based on how they've... I already said it, that these things that we are talking about, see, if you're saying some people is just another person like you. Right. Some people is just another person. It could have been somebody else. With a different story. Why are we sitting with a story that is not so pleasing? I see. Now, this other part of the 3 Ps, I want us to also open it. So now, this one is what Steve Harvey said. He said, profess. He said, if a man doesn't openly claim you as his, introduce you, post you, and tell people about you, he's not serious about you. I agree. However, not every man, it feels like I'm even, you know, but not every man are, you know, not every man are, when it comes to the word posts, the word post is not every man that is the post. We all know. However, when it gets to the place where you're supposed to talk about your woman, that's where the profess is, to actually profess. Hold on. You must be there. I mean, when it comes to the time where you get to profess even your love to the person or to your family, to defend and all of that, that's the word profess. I'm not using post now. Like, I'm not talking about the post now, because that post, but I am talking about, you know, to the people that matter. So I was doing a shoot like a few days ago, and we met these 2 men. They're both married, you know, married for a while. They obviously might not even be using social media. But just the 2 minutes that I was with them, they were talking so much about their wives. They were professing it so much. They were professing it. They might not even have it. That's why I'm saying that. You see, this media thing is causing a whole lot of thing on us. It might not have it like that. However, when you come to a Gen Z,
an Instagram influencer, for example, who has a husband, and the husband is not professing the love on social media. Even the social media, family members, or how do they call themselves, begin to think that maybe something is going on with the man.
The man doesn't love the
The
woman.
man doesn't love the woman. Meanwhile, you don't even understand that maybe this is just like 1 minute of their lives that you're just seeing online. But what I am saying is profession is very, very important. If you don't profess loves if you don't profess to people or don't talk about I don't see any point. That means you don't love them.
So the profession, is it an open one that we're looking at here or the public one as well?
So that was exactly what I wanted to say. So when you hear of the posting and all of these things,
That's the
again,
public.
we are different persons. Do you understand? We are able to show love to people differently. So we have PDA, public or private. They're still PDA. Do you understand? Exactly. So that's one. So the point is, wherever you guys go out, right, and somebody is asking, oh, is this your girlfriend or is this your sister? Does he boldly say, oh, that's my wife?
And
that's what it is. If he actually now if you are in a gathering or whatever it is, and he cannot actually boldly say, oh, that's my wife. I mean, just know that you're probably with someone, you're with someone that's not for you. That's what it is. So whether it's public, even if he doesn't post you on socials, that actually doesn't mean that he doesn't love you, right? The question is he able to fight for you when people are there?
When it is needed.
I
And I would also please, let me add this. Just like I was saying that I met 2 men that same day, I also met some men that they were not willing to talk about their relationship because they know that if it goes out there, maybe about 3 women is going to come and fight for the same thing. So I met people like that too. So you see that the profession, just like you said, in the place that matters, do you actually speak for these people?
I mean,
people have said a number of things, right? What I believe is with this whole professing thing is I'm not a fan of the whole I must be posted, I must be seen as the love of your life, the LOMLs. But in today's world too, we have some people that, like you have mentioned, they are more comfortable or they feel even more loved when they see that their partner is always talking about them on social media and everything. But again, I think personality also plays in this thing. There are some people that really do not even want to talk about, their relationship. Like you mentioned, somebody was not ready to talk about his relationship in a particular crowd. I don't think it's necessarily because he might not have loved that woman. It's just because he's probably a conservative person.
But in a place that matters.
In a place that matters, did my wife enter the discussion? Was my wife important in that discussion? Because there's this trend that happens that when some people go for panel sessions and particular speech and they're like, oh, I bring you greetings from my wife. Like, is your wife important in this conversation? So you're making it look like there's a burden that everywhere you are, they must know that you're a married person.
So that's why I use the word in a place that matters.
In a place that matters.
Do you understand?
So in a place that is needed.
Exactly. If you guys are going out together, it might not really even be anything. If you guys are going out together and probably something is happening, you're like, hey, please clear off. That's my wife.
This profession boils down to maybe even
one way or the other. But the part where you're not able to say it or you have an issue saying it, then you guys are not supposed to be together. That's what it is.
Okay, thank you so much for your opinions. I think we've had a very juicy conversation, and Steve Harvey did mention a number of things. I would love to really read some of the themes that were very major in his book before we wrap up very quickly. He mentioned something about the male mindset, and he said the male mindset is about who he is, what he does, and how much he makes. So Harvey argues that a man's identity is tied to his purpose, and until he knows who he is and what he wants to do in life and how he will provide for himself and a future family, he may not be emotionally available for love. Steve Harvey also has, he opened up the theme of standards and expectation, that is setting the bar early. And what this means is that women should have clear standards and set them from the start. So according to Harvey, when women don't demand respect, they do not get it. And there are a number of things that he mentioned, even the 90-day rule. Yes, so Harvey likened it to a probation period for a new job. And the woman should wait 90 days before becoming sexually involved. Oh, why didn't we talk about this?
We talk about that too.
So there's the 90-day rule. And this time allows her to assess the man's intention before being intimate, or as they call it. It's important. All right, thank you so much for sticking with us. Of course, join us next month again for another interesting book review segment. At the end of the day, I think love isn't about playing games. It's about knowing your worth, setting your standards, and choosing connection over confusion. Till next week again, same time, same energy. It's Ways Breakfast. Have a great weekend.